wet dreams are a good thing, watch this video and I'll explain why. Alright, what's going on, gentlemen? So if you saw my other video, I had a tire iron. This time, the traffic cone is what's going to get shoved up one of your asses if you fucking relapse. So, I want to first address that there is a certain someone on the internet who is apparently a semen retention YouTuber. He makes semen retention videos talking about how relapses are therapy and, whatever else. Truthfully, he needs to get outside and touch grass. You notice my videos are outside every day. His are inside. It's fucking weird. Get your ass outside and touch grass. Stop talking about fucking therapy and your mental health issues and your emotions and shit. And this really goes for all of you. That, yeah, of course it feels good to come. Duh. Why are we calling it therapy? It's therapeutic to relapse. Why are we using all these fucking words? Duh. It's pleasurable to come and have an orgasm. Every human on earth who has ever had an orgasm knows this, man and woman. And there is an element of stress relief and you view the world in a new way after, right? But, guys, if you're not getting laid, you really shouldn't be doing it. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird to sit around and jerk off. That's it. Go ask any woman if you walked in on your boyfriend or your husband jacking off, laying on his back, jacking off, how would you feel? Right? And you can imagine in your own head, disgust is likely what they would feel. It would be disgusting, gross, ew. Why would you do that, right? They would view you as less of a man sitting around and pleasuring yourself. Because they're women, and that's how they view us. They view us as machines who just work, right? And it's true, that is what we are, right? We do have emotions and stuff like that. But, I don't really think it's a ideal thing for a man to be sitting around self-pleasuring and calling it therapy, right? Dude, the fucking bottle, it's my therapy, dude, right? It's this same exact thing. Go to Alcoholics Anonymous and talk to them and say that in front of them. The bottle, that there is it's a therapeutic relief or whatever the fuck he said in having a drink once a month and chugging a bottle. What the fuck are they gonna say to you? What the fuck are they gonna say in Alcoholics Anonymous, y'all? Just use your own brains. That's all this is. I've just used a little bit of simple logic right here. So just use your own brains. I don't even like to do this. I don't want any of this, but there is propaganda being spread that I feel compelled to speak against because it's not true. It's not true. Okay? Well, maybe it is true, but that doesn't mean you should do it, right? Maybe it is, not even maybe. It is true. It feels fucking good. We all know this. There's a release, there's a mental release, there's a stress release, everything. It calms you down, right? Yesterday, I'm sitting in the truck. My brother and I had been landscaping all day. I'm sitting in the truck, and we were out in Nashville. And my brother and I are the same way, where we don't really like big cities. We don't like big crowds or anything like that. We get uncomfortable, We're not dudes with anxiety. It's just, we're aware. This is America. We're aware that someone can just commit a heinous crime. And we don't like to be in public like that. We get stared at a lot. And it makes us want to fight people. We get aggressive and uncomfortable. And, it's just not good. It's just not for us, right? We like slower pace, smaller cities, where the people don't have heebie-jeebies. If they look at you, they're going to say hello, right? Where someone in the city looks at you and you have no idea what their intention is because they say nothing. It makes you uncomfortable. But driving home, and I'm sitting in the truck, we got the windows down, and I'm just raging mad. Just raging, dude, for no reason. Just sitting there, just steaming mad. And I'm like, man, there is no way that I can't fight. Like, I have to sign up to like a UFC gym or MMA gym or something. There's no way I can't fight. I have so much aggression that it's like, I just want to fight, to be honest, guys. It's Saturday. I'm going to work with my brother all day. I'm going to hit the gym after. And this morning, I'm in the shower thinking about a girl at the gym that I want to get her number. And I'm like, man, I hope she's there when I'm there. She probably won't be. It's fucking Saturday. It'll be Saturday evening when I get there. And I'm just like, I would love to just get her phone number, go to the bar with her, and just get in a fist fight. Like, really, I want her number, but I wouldn't even give a fuck about her. I'd just go and, like, get in a fist fight, you know? It would be fun. It would be exciting. And so, I'm sitting there thinking, I need to go to a fight gym, right? Not, I need to go jack off. What's cooler, guys? Which form of therapy makes you a badass? Okay? So, I'm done with that topic. I've used enough just pure childlike logic to cut right through the bullshit. So, there you go, guys. If you happen to consume this guy's content, just know this is false, the things that he's saying. So, let's go ahead and move into the wet dreams and why wet dreams are a good thing. So, the first thing you want to establish, well, I want to establish about a wet dream, is the idea of a succubus, right? So, if you look up succubus, you'll find it on Wikipedia, and it'll tell you the history of it. There's long time, succubus have been talked about. Incubus are talked about for women, right? It's just sexual dreams. They've been going on for as long as human history, right? The Old Testament talks about if a man has a night emission, what to do, right? So it's been going on for thousands of years, and humans have spoken about it and said, hey, this thing comes and has sex with me in my dream, right? And I'm talking about this because I had a wet dream a couple nights ago. So I've had 2 wet dreams in like 4 days. And I've been through this before. I've had so many wet dreams in my life. I know exactly what is going on with a wet dream. It's very clear. It's very obvious to me. I've had enough experience with them. So the succubus is known as a female demon, or a demon that takes the form of a female and goes and sleeps with men, has sex with men at night, and they have wet dreams. Now, like this last one, I'm gonna get a little bit graphic here, guys. I'm sorry. This last one, this demon gave me exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted, right? Got on my lust for power, right? That was the whole dynamic in the dream. Is it was my lust for power that was being stroked, and then I chose, right? I was in the dream. I was sitting there enjoying the pleasure, just enjoying myself. You know how it is, guys. Sit back and just enjoy yourself. So I was sitting back, enjoying myself, and then I allowed myself to ejaculate. And I wake up in the middle of it, right? And I get up out of bed, I'm standing up, and I can just feel the muscle contracting, just pumping out my seed, right? There's no pleasure. I get 0 pleasure. I get nothing from it, right? I just lost, and I just feel the muscle contracting, pumping it out. And that is a clear sign to me, if you're like watching your own life and being aware, that's a clear sign to me that this is not normal. This is weird. I'm having an orgasm with 0 pleasure. I don't know what that is, right? And I'm just feeling the muscle contracting. My seed comes out, right? There's a wad in my underwear, and that's it. I don't get a baby out of it. I don't get any pleasure. I don't even get the sense of power that I was feeling in the dream, right? Because it wasn't real. It was a dream. So I don't even get that, right? And so that's why, like, the one thing you have to understand about a wet dream is you gave up conscious ejaculations, and now it's happening unconsciously. So that should tell you that, tied in with the fact that humans outside of a religious perspective have considered the succubus as a negative spiritual entity that takes the seed out of men at night, and you only get wet dreams when you swear off ejaculation, when you start semen retention. That's when you start getting wet dreams. So that should tell you that there is some type of spiritual power in your seed. That right there is a very logical line that I drew, that there is some type of power that is special in your seed, and there is some spirits out there that don't want you to have that power. They've been preying on you consciously. You give it up consciously, and they come to you when you're unconscious because they can't take it out of you consciously anymore, right? That's exactly what goes on if you truly make the commitment. And the wet dream is a temptation. It's all it is a temptation. I had this wet dream the other day, and the whole rest of the day, I was just all like, man, I had a lot of temptations, and I had to really resist them. It was an abnormal amount of temptation, right? And I know that that's what happens to me, right? So, because I know, I can prepare you guys that if you commit to this, I've had 2 wet dreams within like 4 days. And in the past, I had 2 in a row. 2 nights in a row, I had wet dreams. And when that happened, that was the big changing moment for me. The second one, 2 nights in a row, was when I was like, okay, no, there is like a demon or something that does not want me to have this power. That's all it comes down to. There is power in my seed. It's being taken from me when I'm unconscious. I have consciously said, I want to hold on to this. I want to keep this for me to improve myself and my life and everyone around me. And then it gets taken from me when I'm sleeping. Stolen, right? It's almost like you've been molested. And 2 nights in a row just really had me like, okay, no, there's something going on here, right? So, wet dreams are spiritual warfare. And if you don't have any wet dreams, you don't have spiritual power. That's all it comes down to, right? So I'm going to pose this as secular as possible, but I grew up in America around Christians and stuff, so explaining it with Christian terms is the easiest way to explain it. So if you're secular, don't just click off because I say demon or God, right? Don't get mad and click off. Just understand that I'm pitching like light and dark, good and evil, right? Negative and positive. Just understand that. It's talking about the same thing, okay? So, when you commit to holding on to your seed and you have spiritual power within you, good, for the good, right? For the good. The night demons, succubus, come for you, and they come in whatever form you want. I've had threesomes in my wet dreams, everything. I've had anything you can imagine. I've had enough wet dreams that it's just disgusting, right? They will come for you at night because you are drained, you are low energy when you're consciously doing it, so they don't have to come for you, right? You don't have any power. But they will come for you at night if you give it up and you start taking your power back. They don't want that. They don't want you to be a force for good. If I eat too late, I'll have wet dreams. But sometimes it just happens. Even if I don't eat too late. I've had a streak before where I really made it a point to not have wet dreams, and I still had wet dreams. So I think you kind of get attacked either way. Now, I have a story about this that is insane. So I was living with 3 other guys. We were working together. We were living in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had a little townhome. One dude was sleeping on the couch downstairs. One guy had the master bedroom. Me and another guy shared a room. The beds were in there, right? It was an Airbnb. And one guy swore off porn. He swore off PMO with me there, right? Due to my influence, right? I was the first person he had met that had ever spoken about it, that had ever spoken about this around him. So he swore it off, right? And, you know, after some time, he's sworn it off. After some time, one morning, at about 5 in the morning, I wake up and I'm sweating all over. I'm hot. I'm sweating all over. And it took me a few seconds to realize, oh, I'm aroused. Right? I realized, like, oh, I'm sweating because I'm aroused. Okay? And I've woken up. So I knew I was getting ready to have a wet dream. So I knew that I was getting ready to have a wet dream. But I woke up, right? And that morning, I see him. And he tells me that he had a wet dream. The first time. So he tells me that. And I realized, oh, well, this is exactly what they talked about. There was this spirit, this entity, this succubus, right? In the house. Came in the house, right? The guy that is sharing a room with me and the guy in the master bedroom, they were coomers, right? They did their thing. So the spirit doesn't come for them. They have no power. The spirit comes from me. I've got the most power, right? Sexual power. I've been holding on the longest. Comes from me. It's trying to get it out of me. Realizes that it's difficult because I have this conscious power, right? I have this protection with me in my sleep. So it leaves. I wake up. Doesn't get it, right? Goes to him because he's been holding on to his seat, so he's got some power. But he's not been doing it like me. So he doesn't have the defense that I have, basically, right? And it goes and gets it out of him. So there's something spiritually in the spirit realm moving around at nighttime, sucking the seed out of men to take the male power, right? And you know, you come to realize that when you see your own, when you shoot a wad in your underwear and you got like nothing out of it, right? Because this is almost how I feel about women, that it's like I view my seed as a virgin female, basically, right? A virgin female has a ton of inherent value for her ability to love and be a wife and bring children, right? Be a good woman. She has a ton of value. Okay? So, we as men on this path should view our seed the same way. You should view your seed as extremely precious, extremely valuable to you, right? You don't have to go tell everyone else how precious your fucking balls are. But to you, your seed should be extremely powerful, right? It should be very valuable to you, and you treat it as such. Because this is how I view women, where it's like, yes, she's beautiful, but all she wants from me is sex. So I'm not going to engage with her, right? I stay away because I know the temptation is so strong, just like Odysseus with the sirens, but I don't have a crew to tie me to the mast, right? And so you get me alone with a beautiful, I've done it. I swore off the women, I was celibate, I end up alone with a beautiful woman, and next thing I know, I'm having sex with her, right? And so I just stay away. But if you begin to view your seed as very valuable, powerful, precious, like a virgin woman would be, you start to get that self-respect thing I've talked about before. You start to understand this stuff, and you do start to look at women differently and say, you know, who wants to be a wife? Who wants to be a hoe, right? and you become less interested in the host because you realize the power that you have within you personally permeates all of the shit. It ends all of the shit. It's over, right? So you want to hold on to that. And so let me tell y'all now. So now that you kind of understand what, like, now that you kind of understand what wet dreams are and what's going on, let me explain why it's actually a good thing to have a wet dream. So it's not the common thing you might think that, oh, it's that little release and you need that in your body. It's da-da-da-da. No. It's not that. The reason a wet dream is a good thing is because it means that you have spiritual power that is worth being taken. You have a spiritual aura that is worth stealing from. That's what it means. If you're not having wet dreams and you're not like specifically disciplining yourself to make sure that you don't have wet dreams, you're probably not working for the light, for the positive of the world, for God. You're probably not really on his team. And so you don't get attacked at night, right? Like I said, it's almost like you've been molested. That's how I feel. I feel disgusting after a wet dream. I feel dirty, down bad. And so if it's, to me, I know it happens to me because I have power. If I had no power, it would not happen to me. It's the same thing with women. If you have no power, they don't want to have sex with you. If you have power, they want to have sex with you, right? And this is a spiritual, sexual power that's going on. Because at the base level of all things, of all creation, there is masculine and feminine, and it's the sexual energy that creates. So at the base level, your sexual energy is extremely valuable to creating what your life is. If you spill it away, you don't get to create your life. You get told what your life is. If you hold on to it, you are the creator of your life, right? You get to choose. You have more power to create what you want in your own life, right? So that is why wet dreams are a good thing. It means that there is a spiritual warfare going on, and you have value towards the side of the positive. So the spirits that come out at night come through you because you have power, right? So take that with you. Let that strengthen you. That's what I did. I had a wet dream, had that second one, and it really just strengthened me, those two in a row. It really just strengthened me to understand I have a lot of power, and there is a whole system in the real world set up to take that from me. Once I overcome that system, now there's a whole spiritual side when I'm sleeping that I don't even know about, I'm not conscious of, that's going on, taking it from me. And it makes you realize how serious you should take this. That it's like, whoa, there is a lot of power in this. I can't just spill this. This is serious, right? Nothing else happens. If you quit fucking drinking alcohol, you're not gonna have dreams where alcohol is poured down your throat. Physically. That doesn't happen. You don't wake up with a bottle being poured down your fucking throat. That doesn't happen. What else? What else is this extreme addiction for people? Come on. Tell me one addiction that people struggle with that when they swear it off, they're fucking terrorized at night and they get intoxicated off of it, right? Weed. Is there just a fucking joint lit in your mouth when you go to sleep? No. None of that. It's only this one. It's only this one. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? But let me not miss over this as well. If you do have wet dreams, you allowed this spirit in, right? Just like in my last one, I allowed myself to ejaculate, right? And that told me also, I have the power. The power is with me to overcome this, right? The same way that God is over Satan and gives Satan permission to do things, I gave this demon permission to take this from me, right? In the dream, I had full control, and I allowed it to happen. So that should tell you something, that you have the power to overcome this, right? The ball is in your court. It's your decision to release your seed. That's it, right? So, yeah, there you go, fellas. Hope y'all have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with a friend. Get your friends retaining. If we can get 100,000 men holding on to their nuts, I bet we could change the whole culture of America. I bet we could change the whole culture of the West with 100,000 men. That's it. 100,000 men retaining. You would be shocked at the power behind that. So, yeah, there you go, fellas. Have a good one.